Slot arrived last summer with one headline idea: intensity with intelligence. Instead of Jurgen Klopps' constant heavy metal press, Slot asked the Reds to pick their moments. The result? Liverpool finished 10 points clear, sealed with a 5-1 win over Spurs on the 27th of April. Impressive numbers, but numbers don't win themselves. So, how did Arne Slot actually make Liverpool run less and defend better? Let's start with his defensive structure. Watch Liverpool's shape when the ball is in Everton's half. They're not sprinting, they're listening, gauging each pass like a heartbeat. That patience is measured by a stat called PPDA, or passes per defensive action. Klopp's farewell season averaged 9 passes before the swarm. Slot lets the opponent play roughly 11. It sounds small, but it's the difference between a foot race and a chess match. Those extra 2 touches by Oxygen and those lungfuls shave nearly 2 kilometers of high-speed running off each match. Later, when the score is tight, those saved sprints become closing bursts in the 88th minute. So ask yourself, in a 60-game season, where would you rather spend your energy? Now, Slot didn't ban aggression, he redirected it. At the training ground, he marked out an invisible rectangle, about 21 yards inside the opponent's half. "Win it here," he told McAllister, "and count to 8. If we haven't shot by then, recycle." 1 in every 5 turnovers inside that box ended with a shot, 3rd best conversion rate in Europe's top leagues. Notice the balance: patient mid-block, explosive once the target zone is breached. With the ball, Liverpool stretched like elastic. See Trent Alexander-Arnold drifting into central midfield? That's called inverting. By stepping off the touchline, he becomes an extra pivot. The opposition winger now faces a dilemma: follow Trent and leave Salah one-on-one, or hold width and give Trent a free pocket to spray passes. Trent's overall touches drop to roughly 77 a game, yet his forward pass volume stays top 5. Less noise, same melody. On the far side, Andy Robertson does the mirror opposite. Instead of bombing wide, he darts inside, an underlap. It pulls the weak side center back off his line and opens a lane for Luis Diaz. The net effect? Liverpool often attack with 5 across the front, yet leave 2 pivots to guard the counter. It's risk managed by geometry. Mohamed Salah turns 32 and somehow writes a younger man's stat sheet: 29 goals, 18 assists, 47 direct contributions, matching an all-era record. But forget the raw total for a moment. Focus on the pattern. Nearly every marker comes from the right half space. Receive, wriggle, curl toward the far post. Defenders know it, scouts warn against it, and yet, time after time, the net ripples anyway. First, notice where Salah starts. He holds an ultra-wide position on the right touchline, almost on the halfway line, even when the ball is still with Jones. Defenders hate this because they have to decide early: track him and stretch the back 4, or leave him and risk the diagonal. That gravity creates space inside for Trent's inversion and Robertson's underlap before Salah has even touched the ball. When the pass comes, Salah does 3 things in about a second and a half. Receive on the back foot, shield with deceptively strong hips, then explode into the half space. He averages just 2.3 touches per sequence in the final third, fewest among Liverpool's front line, because it's 1 touch to control, 1 to threaten. That first step is the killer. It angles his body toward goal and forces the center back to commit. Commit, and the cutback to Nunez is on. Hesitate, and the trademark curl to the far post is on. Slot's tweak this season is that Salah isn't just a finisher, he's a trigger for the next pass. The data shows it. His expected assists per 90 jump from 0.22 to 0.35, 8th best in the league, while his non-penalty XG barely drops. That's balance, danger as shooter and supplier. Practical example: Spurs at Anfield. Here, 2 defenders are trying to block off both the angle to the near and far posts, but Salah manages to sneak in a pass in between. In this next clip, we see Salah finding just a little bit of space between the 2 defenders and scoring with his signature curl to the far post. There's just no stopping him. So why is a 32-year-old still shredding elite defenses? Because the system gives him 3 gifts: grass wide, a passing lane central, and a predictable support run. All Salah has to do is choose the puzzle piece the defense leaves open, and he's always been good at puzzles. Systems matter, stars matter, but every system is still held together by the people inside it. Let's meet the cast. Start with the screen in front of the back line. Alexis Mac Allister is the metronome, never rushed, always square on to the ball. He averages just 0.76 interceptions per 90, but that number is misleading. Liverpool's zonal press funnels danger his way, so when he does step in, the pitch is already tilted. On the ball, he plays first time more than any other Red, keeping tempo high. Ryan Gravenberch is the dribbler next to him, happy to carry through pressure. Only Soboslai attempts more progressive carries per 90. His 3-step burst pulls the entire block 10 meters upfield, allowing Trent to stroll into midfield rather than sprint. Behind that duo stand 2 very different center backs doing one very similar job: delay. Virgil van Dijk still looks imperious. He completes about 73 passes a game, more than any Liverpool player, and rarely goes to ground. Konate is the wall. 71 aerial duels won this season and an 83% success rate, second only to Dan Burn league-wide. Together they form what Slot calls the red semaphore. One arm raised to organize, the other ready to intercept. The restraint lets Robertson underlap and Trent invert without panic. On the flanks, Luis Diaz is raw electricity. 12 league goals, 7 created off pure 1v1 dribbles. Inside him, Dominik Szoboszlai arrives late into the half space, clocking the squad's highest progressive carry total. And then there's Darwin Núñez, a starter some days, an impact sub on others. His XG per 90 sits top 5 in the division. When he storms on in minute 70, the press resets because fresh legs chase that 8-second target. Alisson's hamstring tweak in March could have wobbled the title push, but Saomin Kelleher saved 3 goals above expected across 8 games. Under Slot, keepers don't just stop shots, they launch counters. Both men average over 9 launched passes per match. Many start the 8-second sequences we talked about earlier. Florian Wirtz is Liverpool's only extravagance of the summer, an initial £100 million that could reach £116 million for a 22-year-old playmaker with 5 full Bundesliga seasons behind him. Last year, he produced 16 goals and 14 assists in all competitions, ranked 8th in Germany for progressive passes, and created 2.1 open play chances per 90, numbers that place him in the same creative bracket as Liverpool's own leaders. Arne Slot's in-possession shape morphs from a nominal 4-2-3-1 into the familiar 2-3-5. 2 center backs, 3 midfield connectors, 5 attackers spread across the width of the box. Wirtz should fit Arne Slot's comfort zone with minimal adjustment. Because Wirtz routinely receives between the lines, he is accustomed to those compressed windows. His first touch puts him square to goal. His second either slides Diaz down the channel or threads Salah's diagonal. The progressive pass data tells us he can execute both. All in all, there should be many exciting tactical seasons for Arne Slot and Liverpool in the upcoming years. If you like this video, please make sure to like and subscribe to help with the algorithm.